So, Zoom Marketplace is a powerful part of Zoom, filled with hundreds of apps to help your organization automate, integrate, and collaborate. You can automate routine tasks like sharing a meeting transcript with stakeholders after a meeting ends. You can integrate with hundreds of fantastic partners like Lever, Panopto, Docket, and BookLike a Boss. You can collaborate faster and easier by bringing your content into Zoom and using Zoom to collaborate on your content. You can even build your own apps to suit your organization's exact needs. Today, we're going to have 4 shining examples of the power of Zoom apps in the Zoom Marketplace. So first up, I'd like you to please welcome Barbara Burms with Lever.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Barbara, and I want to tell you today how we integrated Zoom into our product, Lever, to expedite the hiring process for our customers. I'm the product manager, the technical product manager for APIs and integrations at Lever, and our team built this integration. That's why I'm here today. So what is Lever really good at? Lever is really good at taking the complexity out of hiring. So all the stuff that you need to do in order to source or nurture candidates, Lever is really good at that. Also, the platform helps really everybody in the recruiting process to collaborate seamlessly at every stage of the hiring process. All right, so we have about 2,500 customers across all industries and across all segments. And while we have definitely some bigger customers, such as Zoom itself and Netflix, we also have a lot of small companies who started very small but actually scaled with us. So we're really good at scaling and helping companies grow. Let me tell you a bit about the state of hiring and how Lever today can help. So for all companies, it's very important to hire the right talent very quickly. So hiring managers, recruiters, coordinators, they all really want to get the best talent out in the market. But there are nowadays more and more increasing new challenges and demands. One is competition is fierce. That means the unemployment rate is at a 50-year low. Secondly, a lot more people now, actually twice as much as previous generation, actually decide to leave jobs, and because they have a lot more options. And the other thing that is important, is very important, is that your brand and your company has to be top of mind when talent starts to look for jobs. And normally 70% of actually the talent out there is not really actively looking, but 87% when you approach them, they're open for new opportunities. So that means you definitely have to make sure that, talent thinks of you when they start looking. In addition to that, there are also operational challenges that normally our customers or in general companies face today. So on average, there are large HR departments now have 11 systems of record and work with as many as 22 different vendors. And we hear the same thing from our customers. That's why deep integrations into our system are so important. And that's what our team at Lever does, the integrations team. Research says that video interviewing has become more and more popular. So it means actually 60% of the hiring managers are now starting to say, you know what, we're just going to conduct video interviews instead of phone interviews. And that also shows that actually conducting video interviews helps you expedite your hiring process by 6 times over phone interviews. So this is our talent relationship lifecycle at Lever. And each of those stages is very important to us, where we help our customers really be successful. And as you can see here, there's also that one piece of interview as a big important step of the process. So for us, what we always tell our customers, it's really time to hire is an advantage in the industry. So as long as you can quickly hire good talent, that's when what is really important. So inefficient scheduling slows down hiring, as I just said, and time adds up across multiple stages and candidates. And while we have an amazing integration of Office 365 and also Google Suite or Google Calendar, and recruiters inside the system can access like recruiters and interviewers schedule, send emails across the platform. One thing we hadn't really looked at was video interviewing. So what we did, what we like to do as a user-centric company, we went out and asked our customers and said, hey, do you use Zoom? What are your current pain points? So we really went out to talk to a bunch of customers, and one of the biggest pain points here, it was really about going back and forth from Lever to Google Calendar to add the Zoom link. When we schedule, you have to do it again. So it's manual and very time consuming, one of our customers said. So we took all of this feedback and tried to come up with a perfect solution. And as of actually 2 days ago, Lever is now in Zoom's marketplace. So we have integrated. We're the first official talent recruiting software that is, has a place in the marketplace, in the Zoom marketplace. It's a perfect solution. What does it do? So we have a really deep Zoom integration in Zoom integration in Lever. We have a one-click to create Zoom meetings inside Lever. It's very easy, one-click button. It auto-populate everything, the invites with all the Zoom details, so you don't have to worry and copy and paste stuff back and forth. And overall, effortless schedules remote interview panels, which is really great. So before we cue the demo, let me give you a little real-world example. Let's say I'm Barbara, I'm the recruiter in the Toronto office. Then we have Nina in the San Francisco office. She's the hiring manager, and we really want to hire a senior product manager. We really found this amazing candidate, Jen, who is in Los Angeles. So what do? You obviously don't have to necessarily bring Jen into the office, but rather conduct a remote interview. So in this case, we do this. So let's start the demo. This is the profile page, the candidate profiles page. So this is Jen's profile. We're now hitting the schedule button. Everything is all pre-filled out now. We have an interview scheduled for this Thursday at 9:30. Barbara and Nina are on the panel. We select all the necessary information, and then we click onto this add location field. And in here, we can click the Zoom link. Zoom link is created. We're also going to get Nina a room in the San Francisco office because it's always busy finding a spot there. Once we fill it all out, we hit the schedule button. We have all this stuff now pre-filled out, when it is, who's in the panel, as well as obviously the Zoom link. Then we're going to go ahead, click send. Now the information is populated in Jen's profile in Lever, so everybody can see what's happening when it's scheduled. But there's also obviously the Google invite that was automatically created with the Zoom link and the Zoom information. So why don't we go ahead and fast forward, where we're saying hi to Jen in Los Angeles, and that was it. Wasn't that easy? All right, so roadmap-wise, obviously we're because this is a brand new integration that we launched this week, we're collecting a lot of feedback now from our beta users. We also want to support booking of multiple rooms. That's something our customers have expressed interest in. In general, we also going to do more self-scheduling integration in our suite, in our Lever suite, and of course, support more use cases, because I believe, as we've talked to a lot of our customers, there are also very specific, unique use cases that each and every customer has. All right, so again, I hope you'll try it out if you're a Lever customer, or if you will become a Lever customer. So really happy to talk to you also afterwards if you have any questions. So thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Barbara. Lever is a great way to hire top talent, and we're happy that Zoom can help power Lever. And now, please help me welcome Ari Bixhorn with Panopto.
Thank you, Blake. Let me start off with a question. If you host a Zoom meeting and you don't record it, did it ever really happen? Now, it's obviously a rhetorical question, but think about all the valuable information that gets exchanged in meetings that we have every day. We solve problems in meetings, we brainstorm ideas, we get organizational alignment. But if you don't record those meetings, how much of that do you think you actually remember? Research says not that much. In fact, an hour after a meeting has wrapped up, most people have forgotten more than half of what was discussed. And just a few days after a meeting, more than 3/4 of the important information discussed in the meeting has been forgotten. Now, when you think about the fact we have 55 million meetings in the US every day, more and more of them are held in Zoom, and when you think about all the information that we exchange, I'll assert that online meetings are the most valuable digital asset that businesses have today. And yet, if we're not recording those meetings, all of that valuable information begins to disappear into the ether as soon as the meeting wraps up. Well, many businesses are starting to catch on to this, and they're starting to record their meetings. And when I speak with these companies, they normally cite 2 reasons for doing it. First, they simply want to make sure that they have a record of the meeting for anyone who couldn't attend. The second reason is, I think, the more interesting one, and that is that many businesses want to go back and revisit specific moments in the meeting in perfect fidelity. Let me give you an example. In the image on your right, we have an engineer whiteboarding an architecture. You may want to go back at some point in the future and review how that architecture was designed and what specifically they wrote on the whiteboard. If you don't record your meeting, you can't revisit that in great fidelity. Now, how have we done this in the past? Well, we remember things from meetings by using minutes. Minutes are a great starting point, but they don't capture the nuanced discussion in the meetings. They don't cover things like visually, what was being written on the whiteboard, or in Zoom, what we might be sharing on our screen. So more and more companies are now not only doing meeting minutes, but they're also recording many of their meetings. How many meetings? In the last year alone, 150,000 Zoom meetings were recorded. That sound like a big number, small number? Kind of small, right? The reason it seems like a small number is because that was the number of meetings recorded by just one customer in the last year. So Panopto works with hundreds of organizations, and many of these organizations are recording their Zoom meetings. They're capturing thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of hours of Zoom recordings every year. But that brings up the next question, and that is, when you're recording thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of meetings, how do you manage them? That is where Panopto comes in. So Panopto is a video content management system. You can think about it as sort of like a private version of YouTube where you can securely host all of your videos. Yesterday, we announced that we've just launched a new integration where we have an app in the Zoom app marketplace. And what that app allows you to do is automatically ingest all of your Zoom recordings into this nice-looking portal and make them available to attendees or really anyone who you want to share the meeting with. Now, we built Panopto for all 3 Zoom audiences: admins, hosts, and attendees. For admins, Panopto provides really granular control over security permissions for all of your recordings. So if you want to share this recording with just the marketing team, you want to share this recording with these 3 individuals, and you want to share this recording with everyone in the company, you get that level of granular control. Panopto also includes governance tools for things like, where was it? Access permissions management, retention policies. So if you want to record a meeting and only have it available for a month or 6 months or a year, you can do that as well. For meeting hosts, Panopto will automatically share the meeting recording with all the attendees. It also includes a web-based editor that allows you to trim out confidential parts of the meeting and highlight key moments in the meeting. And it includes analytics, so you can see who watched which recording and whether they watched through to completion. And then for attendees, you get that familiar YouTube-like portal. You also get a unique search engine. And that search engine allows you to search across all your recordings for any word that was spoken or shown on screen in any meeting and fast forward right to that moment. So you don't have to watch a 15-minute or a 30-minute meeting. You can find that precise 2-minute segment based on the topic that you're looking for. All right. Here is the video portal. I'm going to perform a search for project plan. When I search for project plan, I'm going to find every moment in every video where someone said the word project plan or showed it on their screen. And when I click on that link, I'm going to go right to that moment in the video. So we can see he says, all right, let's bring up the project plan. Now that was using speech recognition. We also search anything that appears on screen. So here I'm going to search for prototype budget. And when I search for that, I get a list of moments in the meeting. I'm going to click on this moment, and it's sort of hard to see on the screen here, but in very small text, prototype budget is shown on screen. So you can find any word that was spoken or any word shown on any of your shared Zoom recording screens. Now at this point, I want to bookmark this moment in the video because this is a moment in the video that matters to me that I may want to revisit in the future. So I'm going to create a time-stamped bookmark that allows me to jump right back to that moment in the video at 6 minutes and 30 seconds whenever I want. And I can view all of my bookmarks that I've set across all my Zoom recordings, which we see here. The one that I just created, as well as other bookmarks in other meetings. And again, this is personal to me. These are the moments in meetings that matter most to me. Now I'm going to search for security key. During this meeting, we shared a security key on screen. And it's all right for the meeting attendees to see it, but we're going to share this meeting more broadly. So I'm going to jump to that point in the meeting, and once I find where the security key was shown on screen, I want to edit this part out. So to do that, I'm going to launch our web-based editor. This runs in any modern browser in HTML5. Here in the editor, I'm going to go down to the timeline, and I'm just going to slice out that part of the meeting. Once I've done that, I'm going to move the playhead back just before it. I'll play the meeting again just to make sure that that has been trimmed out from start to finish. And it appears that it has. So now I can save that and share it with other people. So now that I've edited the meeting, I want to share it. And again, I just want to share it with specific people. So here I'm going to specify, in this case, the marketing team. And also I want to share it with my boss, Dan Lewis. So I select that group and that name, and I'm able to share with those two, the group and the individual. Now once I've shared the meeting, I want to be able to see who's watched the recording. So to do that, I'll launch analytics. Analytics show me the number of views and unique viewers for this particular meeting on a day-by-day basis. And then as I scroll down, I can see which points of the meeting people watched. So I have a timeline of the meeting. And if we look down, I see that I've shared it with my boss, Dan. We can see the number of views that he has, the number of minutes. Most importantly, I can see 98%. Dan has watched almost the entire recording. I can also see where he's engaged with the recording based on the number of notes he's taken, the number of comments that he's left. And that is a quick look at what you can do with Panopto. There's a lot of things that we're looking into in the next year or so, next couple of years. Here's just a few of the ideas that we're thinking through. We want to make it possible to identify attendees based on speech recognition or facial recognition. We want you to be able to interact with Panopto the same way that you do with Alexa. So during a meeting, you might be able to say, hey, Panopto, bookmark this 5-minute segment of the meeting for all the attendees. There's also a lot of work that can be done with AI. You heard about some of that this morning in terms of action items, summaries, and we're even thinking about things like meeting sentiment analysis and effectiveness analysis based on AI. So that is a whirlwind look at Panopto. We just launched in the marketplace. If you'd like a more in-depth demo or you just want one of these cool t-shirts, stop by our booth. We're giving them away. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Ari. Panopto and Zoom make such a great pair. It's great to see all the work you've done on really boosting the value of meeting recordings. Now, please help me welcome Darren and Heather with Docket.
Thank you, Blake. We're excited to be here, and thank you to Zoom for having us. We're excited to share the Docket story and announce our Zoom integration. But first, I also want to ask a question, and this one is not rhetorical. So if you get up in the morning and you look at your calendar and you see a day filled with meetings and this excites you, raise your hand. Yeah, that's the state of the world today, right? So most people feel like they attend too many meetings that are a waste of time. And this is almost universally true. Let me find the right. There we go. This is almost universally true, right? We have a bad meeting, we kind of shrug our shoulders, roll our eyes, yes, that was a bad meeting. But we don't really spend a lot of time trying to fix it, either individually or as a team or at the company level. And this is really hard to fathom because we meet a lot. 55 million meetings daily in the US alone. And this number is increasing 10% year over year since the early 2000s. And why? Well, because technology is making it easier and easier to meet. But we're not really getting any better at the actual meeting portion of all of this. Employees are frustrated because they feel like the number of meetings that they have are getting in the way of them doing their jobs, instead of understanding that being really good at meetings is critical to the performance of their work. And because of this, teams are inefficient. They're having the same meetings, literally the same conversations and debates over and over again, becoming very unproductive, which is causing companies to waste an enormous amount of money. But we've all been to good meetings, right? Meetings where we felt energized by the outcomes. We felt like that was a really good, solid meeting with a lot of work, and we were excited to get started on the action plan. Why can't all of our meetings be like this? Well, if you look at meeting research, what we know is that if you focus on adding clarity of purpose to the meeting, so the individuals in the meeting understand why they are there specifically, and the meeting participants understand collectively what the goal of the meeting is, what they need to go out of the room having accomplished in order to make that meeting a success. And you focus on transparency of the outcomes of the meeting. So you are communicating decisions and following up on action items. Your teams are much better aligned and you're much more productive. The docket meeting framework builds these concepts of clarity and transparency into all phases of the meeting to make sure your teams are aligned and more productive. From the pre-meeting stage, where you're focused on preparing your meeting participants and the material, to the in-meeting stage, where you're focused on collaboration, making decisions, and debating, and to the post-meeting stage, where you're communicating the outcomes, the decisions, the action items, and tracking those, the docket meeting framework instills the meeting best practices into your team's meetings so that you are more aligned and more productive. And when you have meetings with remote attendees where it's even harder to gain that alignment, the focus on clarity and transparency is even more critical. That's why today we're announcing our integration with Zoom. We're taking Zoom's frictionless video conferencing solution and combining that with Docket's best practices meeting framework to seamlessly combine and provide all of the tools needed to provide clarity and transparency into all your Zoom meetings. Let me introduce Heather Hansen. Heather is going to give us a demonstration. She is the product lead at Docket.
All right, can everyone hear me? All right, perfect. All right, so welcome to Docket. Go ahead and get that started, thank you. Or not.
Yes,
We did this on purpose. Are you feeling the suspense? All right, let's try that again. All right, so Docket is a meeting intelligence platform that is designed to provide clarity, transparency, and alignment, as Darren said, throughout every stage of the meeting, helping you and your team to be more productive so that you can focus on what matters most. So let's go ahead and dive in. Docket helps you start your day by sending you a daily digest straight to your email so you can begin to prepare your meetings. The digest provides simple cues indicating whether a meeting is recurring, how many guests are invited, and if an agenda has been created. And then with integrations like Zoom, the Docket Digest will also inform whether a Zoom meeting has been scheduled. The digest can take you straight to the meeting you wish to prepare for. Docket contains all of your calendar events to help you quickly jump around and prepare for your meetings. All calendar event detail is easily accessible in the docket meeting, including the meeting location, description, and the guest list, along with quick access to the Zoom video call. With Docket Agenda Builder, you can build a custom agenda from scratch, use a previous meeting's agenda, or find a template that's most applicable to the specific meeting that you're preparing. You can choose from Docket recommended templates, create a template from scratch, or select from a template previously created to simplify the process. Meeting guests can collaborate in the agenda and prioritize items as needed. You can add any direct links to resources that will be needed for the meeting, so guests can review as pre-reads, as well as making all related materials easy to access during and after the meeting. At any time prior to the meeting, Docket enables you to share the agenda via several different notification paths like email or Zoom chat, according to the recipient's notification preferences. The guest will receive the agenda in Zoom chat or their preferred notification method and have easy access to view the agenda and shared resources prior to the meeting. When it is time, Docket helps make the transition to start your meeting seamless and collaborative every step of the way. Everything you need to run your meeting is available in your Docket meeting workspace. Click to launch the Zoom video and join the other guests. Once you've joined the meeting, Docket blends the Zoom meeting with your agenda to provide a fully collaborative experience. View the agenda simultaneously in the Zoom video while taking advantage of Zoom tools, such as screen sharing and chat. Take notes, as well as view resources without having to leave the meeting, saving time and eliminating distractions during the meeting. And assign tasks to participants at any point in the meeting so that all guests are clear on who will take action. With a fully collaborative experience, guests can view attribution to provide clarity and context to all meeting content. When the meeting has ended, Docket will help provide you with the tools necessary to keep everyone aligned on decisions and actions. Docket offers multiple integrations like Dropbox that enable you to save the recap to your favorite tools. And when final notes and artifacts are attached to the meeting, the recap can be distributed at the click of a button to all guests. When the meeting is over, Zoom's video recording and transcription will automatically save to the Docket meeting as a resource, saving you time and easily accessible to those who could not attend or want to review the discussion at a later time. Docket has a ton of impactful features coming soon, including the ability to own your own team so you can invite others to collaborate with your meetings. Add teammates, clients, or others you meet with most so they can share in Docket's collaborative experience. For external meetings, Docket also helps support your brand by enabling you to create your own custom agenda and recap templates with your logo, social links, and color that best reflects your brand. The Docket meeting framework enables and enhances your process every stage of the meeting, providing you with the tools and integrations like Zoom for greater efficiency and alignment. So get started and make awesome meetings. Go ahead and sign up for free at dockethq.com/Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. As you can see from the video, Docket makes it easy and automatic to have really good meetings. Our customers love the ease of use of the product and the dramatic and positive impact it immediately has on their team's productivity. Our focus is on that ease of use as we enhance the product roadmap, which I will touch on just very briefly here. As you've heard multiple times today, meeting AI is where it's at, and that's where we're at as well. So our ultimate goal is to provide a true coaching network that gives you the ability to educate all of the participants in your meetings and all of the employees in the company on how to have best meeting practices based on the behavior of the past meetings in a way that works for your company's culture. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to Blake.
Thanks, Darren. Docket's doing some amazing work powering up Zoom meetings to be even better. And now, BookLike a Boss couldn't be with us here today, so Alex is going to present a demo on their behalf. Do you need the clicker?
Is this working? Excellent. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Swerdlow. I'm the product marketing manager for the marketplace. And what would a session on the best and most surprising apps be without a scheduling app? I mean, come on. We've got like 100, no, I'm kidding. But the top 20 apps include at least 60% of schedulers. So we know that these things are popular, they're helpful, and they help get your business done. So today I want to walk you through Book Like a Boss, which is one of our top 10 apps and one of our top scheduling apps. So Book Like a Boss, right? This is aimed at small businesses who convert leads through their bookings. Book Like a Boss offers you a way to make money from your bookings and connect with your customers quickly and succinctly. Let's dive in. Oops. There we go. So with Book Like a Boss, you get your own web page where you list your availability, your business, and any other information you find critical for your customers to have. You're able to schedule blocks of time and carve out different types of bookings for your customers to choose from. You preload your schedule and allow customers to choose the times that work best for you. Once a customer enters their information, both you and the customer will receive a notification with meeting links attached that your customer prefers. There it is. That's how easy. The booking was confirmed, and now the details will allow both the client and the client manager to see the bookings in the dashboard and in their local calendar. You can look at all of your bookings. You can manage them from your dashboard and control them for scheduling or any other opportunities for communication. That's Book Like a Boss. Very simple, and like Zoom, it just works, which is what we love in our apps. So I'll go back. I had one. So some of the things that are coming. So I mentioned how you get your own personal page with Book Like a Boss. Coming soon are team pages. So you can have your whole company's or your whole team's availability listed to your company page for your customers to book from. Integrations with Salesforce, also an integration that Zoom supports, and Zoom webinars, which are really wonderful to monetize through the Zoom platform and integrated apps. Some of the other new features recently introduced are 24-hour booking, recurring billing, and templates. Everybody loves a template, and I think that they're convenient. I hope you guys do too. So that was Book Like a Boss, and the 4 wonderful apps that we had today. As Blake mentioned, we have over 150 apps on the marketplace across 13 different categories. So take a look, find the ones that work best for you, and let us know. So back to Blake.
Okay. Well, now it's time for questions. Any questions? Oh, I'm losing my microphone. Can you give her a microphone?
Just wondering if they're available on mobile applications as well as through the website.
Yeah, any app. So it'll integrate with something like Zoom Room, Zoom Meetings, Zoom Chat, something like that. Obviously, Zoom Room wouldn't be available on mobile, but anything that integrates with, say, Chat, it's going to work on mobile just the same. Zoom Meeting integration, it's going to work just the same. So there's not really like a different marketplace for mobile like you might find with some organizations. It's pretty much seamless across every platform.
Do you have any data about user recording, meeting recordings? How many Zoom users actually record meetings?
I don't actually know that. And I think that to some extent it would be confidential because some of our customers are large enough that it would sort of skew the balance. Like if we were able to say like 99%.
More and more, I'm not sure who may answer that question, but I know there is like more and more meetings are being recorded.
Yes.
But how steep is the trend? And is it 5% of Zoom users who are recording it, or 95? And where we are considered to privacy and all the other issues that stop people to actually record their meetings?
Right now it's tens of percent. The trend is definitely on the increase. We definitely see things like financial customers, customers with legal concerns, things like that. They record more and more and more for compliance reasons. A lot of times they're taking that and then sending it to some external third party. Let's see, perhaps you've heard of Smarsh or Global Relay. A lot of people will send all of their recordings to them for compliance and archival purposes. So we're definitely seeing a lot more. We're also seeing it a lot more for integration with apps that can make more use of meeting recordings, because there's a lot of value tied up in those that people aren't really unlocking right now. So we're definitely pushing people more in the direction of recording meetings. We're hoping to see, we'd love to see it get to 99% someday.
Blake, if I could
Go
add
ahead.
on to that a little bit. Normally what we see is that people will start recording a certain class of meeting, for example, training sessions. And training sessions you obviously make available on demand. That's an easy first step. Then we'll typically see organizations within a single division say, you know what, I use the example of engineering. Engineering teams will frequently start recording meetings for the types of examples that I discussed. Then what we'll often see is organic growth throughout the organization. And I gave the 150,000 number. We actually have a growing number of our customers who are recording every single Zoom meeting as part of their corporate culture. And if you think about it, it's really not that different than having a record of your emails, your documents, and things like that. It's the one digital asset that we have not traditionally been storing. And so we are seeing more and more companies just make it part of their culture to say, look, we should be storing this institutional knowledge the way we do all of our other.
Yeah, thanks, Ari.
Hi, I've got a couple questions related to recordings. So one's for Ari. Real quick, I saw your video portal. I'm assuming that is not just Zoom. That's probably your wider product, right? You showed one that was Zoom meetings only. I'm assuming it's not just that, right?
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah. So Panopto is built to be a generic video content management system that stores any type of video.
That's what I thought. Okay. And the second thing, I don't know who this is for, but I'm kind of curious to know with recording. I work for SAP, big German company, GDPR, so critical. Just wondering if anybody's thought about perhaps making a compliance feature or a consent feature, excuse me, that when you start recording, we always say, I'm recording, is that okay? It'd be interesting to know if Zoom had a button that could say, yeah, I consent and sort of require that. I don't know if you've seen anything like that or if anybody's thought of that, but.
Have you recorded a meeting on Zoom?
Yeah, plenty.
Oh, well, you get the notification, meeting is being recorded. And then the dialogue pops up that says, by staying in this meeting, you consent to being recorded.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there might be something more proactive consent, I guess, rather than reactive consent. Yeah. Okay.
It's a setting you turn. Oh, God. Okay.
And we're taking answers from the audience.
Sorry. So there's a setting you turn on the portal, and it's an extra setting, and it basically presents a question to all your participants. It says, do you consent to being recorded? But if they say no, they get kicked off in like 5 seconds.
I'll answer that too. I know a lot about this stuff too. So it's really where larger companies are moving towards a landing page environment. Mm-hmm. So they're customized landing pages that allow you to come to that landing page, and then you can determine at that point if you want it to record or not. The actual setting in Zoom is not sufficient according to GDPR requirements at this point.
Oh, is that Mike?
So now that you guys have all completed your development and it's out there and you're beta testing with customers, I'm curious, looking back, is there anything that you could recommend to anybody here who might be interested in building an app, what some of the first steps are, what the experience was like?
I can take that. Thanks, Ben. Our development team right away started looking into the APIs, the developer portal. We had a bunch of calls also with Ben, who just asked a question, who helped us out with any kind of issues. So I think, for any any integration that you want to do, looking at the developer portal, the API, that's a good start. At least for us, that was very useful.
So this is a question for Darren with Docket. I saw the efficiency model that you guys have for meetings. I'm curious, the action items and notes that you had inside of there, do you guys have on your roadmap possibly to sync up with some of the more dominant service providers, Jira, Trello, whatever it may be, so that people can task manage those action items out of the meetings?
Yeah, that's actually in our very near-term roadmap. So in our research, we found a couple of interesting things. One of those being that there is a set of meeting tasks that don't warrant project management and it's too much overhead to put them into the project plan along with everything else. It's things like, hey, I need to go have a conversation with Joe before the next meeting, right? And those are the ones that are traditionally being lost by the organization because somebody may write those down, but nobody really follows up on those. And then you come to the next meeting and somebody hasn't done it, and then you're that much farther behind. But for the ones that do rise to the level of, hey, we want to project manage, we want this into the project management system, we're going to integrate with Trello and Jira and Asana and Monday and those types of tools. And where it really gets interesting is when you have the cross-functional meetings and you have marketing that's using Trello and you have the engineering team that's using Asana or Jira, and be able to take those meeting tasks and populate the tracking tool of choice for that department just automatically makes it that much more beneficial to everybody.
I think we can take one more question if anyone has one. If not, then thank you for our wonderful speakers and thank you for our wonderful audience.